With the election of a new president, many Americans and international investors are wondering about the future of the U.S. economy. Today, we'll break down the current economic scenario and analyze how new policies might shape the housing market, inflation, and interest rates. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the channel. Today, we're diving into the challenges and possible solutions for the American economy during a time of high inflation and financial market shifts. Get ready, because what's coming will be crucial in understanding how economic policies could impact your life and your investments directly. First, let's look at the current context. The American economy is facing a critical moment. Inflation has soared over the past few years, reaching levels we haven't seen since the 1980s. And it's not just food and gas prices that are worrisome. Costs of insurance, home maintenance, services, and even energy are going up. This situation puts massive pressure on Americans who are feeling the strain as their purchasing power declines. The housing market, in particular, is taking a hit. Mortgage rates have jumped from around 3% to nearly 7% in just a few years, putting homeownership out of reach for many. Monthly payments have become unaffordable, and home prices are starting to fall, a trend that could continue as demand adjusts to new interest rate levels. Interest rates, set by the Federal Reserve, play a key role here. Rate hikes have been the government's primary tool to combat inflation. But, like any strong medicine, it has side effects. When rates go up, the cost of borrowing goes up. In other words, buying a house, a car, or any financed asset becomes more expensive. Higher interest rates also directly impact consumer spending. People start to think twice before taking out loans or buying big-ticket items. This can slow down the economy, which could be a desired effect in the fight against inflation. But at the same time, this policy risks pushing the country into a recession, especially if rates remain high for an extended period. The new president has already signaled a commitment to reducing inflation, but also to protecting the economy from a severe recession. This brings us to a central question. Will the government take drastic measures like those in the Paul Volcker era of the 1980s, where inflation was curbed with a deep recession? Or will we see a more moderate approach, balancing public finances while still aiming to foster growth? There's a lot of speculation that the government may soon adopt a less aggressive approach with interest rates to avoid stifling economic growth. The current administration understands that a severe recession would hurt the middle class and could be politically damaging. However, it's still unclear how far the Fed is willing to go to contain inflation without driving the country into a downturn. One of the areas most impacted by rising interest rates is the housing market. As we mentioned, mortgage rates have nearly doubled, drastically reducing consumers' buying power. Imagine this: just a year ago, with interest rates around 3%, an average family could afford a $400,000 home. Now, with rates at 7%, that same family can afford much less, forcing the market to adjust, meaning home prices need to come down. The problem is, this situation isn't likely to improve anytime soon. Even if home prices start to decline, the costs of maintenance, insurance, and taxes keep climbing. With expenses rising, home ownership is becoming an unattainable luxury for a significant portion of the American population. Another critical factor is fiscal policy. The new president knows that addressing the national debt, now surpassing $30 trillion, is essential. However, as the Fed chairman noted, the impact of high interest rates on the federal budget is delicate. If interest rates stay high, the cost for the government to service its debt becomes unsustainable in the long term. At the same time, the president has indicated that now is not the time to tackle these fiscal issues, which raises even more questions about when, if ever, there will be a real solution. Meanwhile, the government might face a difficult choice: allow inflation to run unchecked, or further slow the economy to keep prices under control. In conclusion, we see that the U.S. economy is on a challenging and complex path. The government and the Fed face a difficult crossroads: tackle inflation without pushing the economy into a recession, or accept higher inflation to preserve growth. Whatever choice is made, it will have deep impacts on Americans' lives. Things may get worse before they get better, and the decisions made in the coming months will be crucial in determining the future of the U.S. economy and, consequently, the lives of millions. Did you enjoy this video? Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell to stay updated on economy, politics, and more. See you next time.